Damn hustling, 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 every.
Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix. You are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? Today, we got ourselves a banger daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments down below. Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share. I'm back. Better than ever. I'm back. Feeling rejuvenated, refreshed, rejoiced. Feeling amazing, feeling wonderful. 10 out of 10. And the markets are looking very, very good. Looking extra breedable and submissive. So let's get into it, y'all. My bad on today. Today there was a scheduling goof. That was my fault. I forgot that my son had baseball today. But the rest of the schedule for this week is accurate. So quickly we'll go over that and then we'll get into the charts, the news, and the analysis. So this week I'll be live tomorrow 6 to 8. 6 to 8 on Wednesday, 5 to 7 on Thursday, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Friday, as well as 6 to 8 on Friday. Saturday, 4 to 6, and Sunday I will be off. So let's get into it. Solnic's looking good. Higher low, back test of the prior range. Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful. My number one 100x value play. All is welcome back, Brody. Finally, where you been at, G? I went out to the farm, went camping, had to wake up the markets for you guys. And they're looking very good. So I planted my orchard at the farm, and I got the driveway paved. So progress, chipping away every day. There's always work to do on the farm, but we got lots of done this week. So super excited about that. Cali XT, thank you for the goats, bro. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get into it. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to look at Bitcoin dominance. We're going to look at Ethereum dominance, the Dow Jones, the DXY, gold, M2, others, XRP, and then we'll get into your guys' coins, questions, comments, concerns, analysis. So stay tuned. Spam that like button if this is your first time watching. I do crypto news and analysis. I'll put my track record up against anybody. So make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share, subscribing, and following on TikTok. You're moving fast on the farm. Hell yeah. Yes, sir. I love it. I'm excited. Okay. So let's get into Bitcoin. Now, I'm going to be honest. There is a little bit of mixed signals. I don't know whether to analyze Bitcoin because it is moving very fast on the 5-hour, which seems to be where I should be placing things, or the daily. Either way, the spring is in from Phase A and Phase B through Phase C, you could put that in stone. I do not think another low is coming in. I think that the 74,500 is in concrete. The question is, are we going to get our test? Are we going to get our LPS? Or if we look on the 5-hour chart, one could make an argument that we've already gotten. And not only could you make an argument that we've already gotten it, but you could make an argument that we're deep in the SOS. And it's a very textbook SOS, okay? I'm open-minded. I'm going to let the market dictate. I have my limit orders either way we go. But I do see a scenario playing out where Bitcoin is it's been super oversold. Lots of fear in the market. An extreme level of fear, an extreme level of oversold to the point where, like, you can make an argument that once it flips hard, right? Boring, boring, boring until it's not. Now, I'm not trying to FOMO anybody, and I do anticipate at least a back test to $88,000 at some point in time. But if we look at the Wyckoff accumulation from A, B, and C, to me, are firmly in. The question is, are we on the SOS? And we would expect at least a little bit of a BU/LPS and a little bit of chop. But if we look on the 5-hour, it's like, damn, we pretty much have gotten that too. So I do think, it's not like, sunshine and rainbows out of here or anything like that. A little bit of a chop is what is expected. Everyone is always team bull, team bear. No one is team crab. Where are my crabs at? Where are my crabs at? No one's team crab. But in all reality, that looks like what's ahead of us. I think that we will get at least $88,000. We'll be back to the 382. And there's definitely a scenario where we could get back to 85,000, and all of that would be A-okay. So Bitcoin to me looks very, very good. Clearly has broken out of this downtrend. The question is, are we going to get a back test? I think likely. I think that that's a likely plausible scenario, especially looking at this fractal that we've been following along with. So this is the 2021 bull run. That is the distribution that we had from January through November. Same thing, your markdown, same thing, markdown, then your accumulation, selling climax. The selling climax here was Luna going to zero, right? Then you had your spring was FTX going to zero. And then the same time, the spring, we had the exact same thing, right? So we had OM went to zero during the spring. Okay. So that to me, all of the accumulation is very much there. Okay. And then this move to the upside is the same move, right? You would classify this as your sign of strength. This to me is your sign of strength. Now, the next logical thing, if we were to continue to follow this fractal, which at some point will break away, certainly, but it would be a logical textbook to backtest. And this backtest for Bitcoin back in 2023 was actually the Silicon Valley Bank going to zero. So are we going to get a backtest? I think so. I think 88K, 85K is very logical, very reasonable. And I'm not necessarily predicting it because Bitcoin's just been so oversold. And when it's boring, 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 bloody, bloody, bloody until it's not. Okay, so you don't want to wait for the day that never comes, but you want to be ready for opportunities. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm not predicting because there's definitely scenarios where you could say this is the sign of strength and we're deep into it. You can argue with that for me, and I'll believe you. So I'm just going to let the market come to me. If opportunities present themselves, I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to panic. I'm going to take action. And if it continues to rise, hey, you know what? I'm okay with that too, because in my opinion, we have Bitcoin dominance is clearly showing some signs of weakness at this point. When we look on the daily, we're getting a clear bearish divergence here. We need to take out 63,000 or 63.62% to make a lower low. This clearly to me is distribution. Buying climax, up thrust, UTAD, textbook. This is the opposite of a bottoming structure. This is a topping structure. And I will say, too, on the daily for Bitcoin, it does look like we're about to cross to the downside. And it does look like on the 5-hour, we're getting a little bit of a bearish divergence, too. So, listen, if a backtest, if the blessing is bestowed upon you, then be grateful and have your action. Don't wait for the day that never comes. But also, I think it's a decent idea to have a little bit of dry powder as well. But I do think that Bitcoin is ahead of the altcoins, and there's a lot more work to do with the altcoins in a very good way, right? So Ethereum, finally, it's time! Finally! Has broken out of a multi-month downtrend. Look at this. Rejection, breakout. Boring until it's not. So I think Ethereum has bottomed. And I said I think $3,000 minimum is the move that we should be expecting for Ethereum. That is going to be enough to have a lot of the altcoins feel really good, like Quant, like VeChain, like Link, all the stuff that is in the ecosystem that has been crushed, like Rose. Just that little move is going to feel very good. So I'm going to be looking to add positions on Ethereum and coins in the Ethereum ecosystem. I definitely anticipate a backtest, but this is a clear breakout. Okay? It's not a violent breakout. It's not, we're not off the sun. We're not off the sunshines and rainbows tomorrow. But this is a first critical step that we have been waiting for literal months at this point. Literal months. We've been waiting for Ethereum to finally break out of this downtrend. It has not. For months. 144 days. Okay, so this is definitely a good sign. Ethereum has broken out. Bitcoin Dominance seems to be topping. Bitcoin has certainly had its bottoming structure. The big question is the DXY going to get rejected off of what was the floor, what was support? Is it going to flip into resistance? If so, that's a beautiful thing for crypto. This is a big deal. No one's talking about it. The DXY has broken below 3+ years of support. It's oversold at this point, but that doesn't mean it's going to come up to make a new all-time high. A big move from 99 to 101 and then rolling back over would be fine. While all this is happening, gold to me is having a bearish divergence. It's at the macro 2618. It's at the micro 3618. This is parabolic, ladies and gentlemen. This is not some meme coin that's going to go 100x from here. This is parabolic. We have 2,000 plus years of data to know how this reacts. Okay? So I'm very encouraged with where the market's at. I think we have a little bit of chop ahead of us, but I think we're going to start to gruel our way out of here. And it's going to gruel. It's going to be boring. We're going to be making higher lows. Everyone's going to be doubtful. Everyone's going to hate the Ethereum rally, in my opinion. Ethereum's going to go to $3,000 and people are going to hate it. It's going to be one of the most hated rallies that you can remember. All this is happening while China's M2 is making all-time highs every single day, while the overall M2 is making all-time highs. Total market is clear accumulation here. Others, clear break of the downtrend. Everything is there. Everything is there. All right, let's get into it, guys. Let's get into your guys' questions, comments, concerns. I am very encouraged with where things are at right now with the entire market. I do believe the altcoins have bottomed at this point. Definitely Bitcoin has bottomed. I don't think that we're going to be off to rainbows and sunshines, but I don't think you need to pick out your Lamborghini tomorrow, but I think things are going to be looking very good. Do we walk away in May? Never, not one time have I stated that. That's what I'm going to be doing. I've stated that is a narrative that exists in the markets. And I do believe we're going to have a pretty significant pullback in August, but that would imply a pretty big move to the upside before then. So I think that we're going to pull back in August. However, generally, the summer months in crypto, it's not necessarily a crashing time, get the hell out time. It's a boring time. It's a chop time. Can Cass make a new all-time high? I think so. I am encouraged with Cass. I think Cass is definitely bottomed at this point too. Do you think Bitcoin could go back to 78K? It's definitely still plausible. I think it's less likely though, because when I look at Bitcoin, when we look at it on the daily, it looks like we haven't got our test yet. But when we look on the 5 hour, it's pretty clear that we've gotten our test at this point. And that's definitely where I'm leaning. Test, LPS, sign of strength. I think we're deep into the sign of strength at this time. XRP ETF thoughts. I'll give you my XRP thoughts. I don't care about any ETF, to be honest with you. I do think that XRP is bottomed. I do think the next logical move is to $2.60. That's what I think. That would be a confirmation, by the way, of a break of this fractal, which has been following since 2023. Do you think it's worth selling all alts before August correction? No, I don't think so. Unless you get 2, 3, 5x opportunities, then by all means, de-risk. Then by all means, realize profits. Then by all means, take action. But I'm not going to be taking action just because of an artificial month. Oh my God, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play my portfolio. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to let the market come to me and do what is best for me. My portfolio at that time. What's your price target for XRP? My local target is $2.60 to $3. I think that's going to be relatively quick. But macro $5 to $8 is pretty plausible. We might get to $12. NCT price prediction. Don't know. What is the inflation on NCT? Jordan, thanks for the galaxy, brother. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Okay, this chart right here, I like this chart a lot. I don't know what the inflation is, though. Let me look at the inflation. But it's a very good looking chart. Thank you for the galaxy, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Let me check out this inflation here. Okay, market cap, FTV, the exact same. Beautiful. Okay, listen. This chart right here. Thank you for the galaxy. Thank you for the money gun.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about this chart a little bit. Okay, so on the top, we have NCT. On the bottom, we'll do whatever. It doesn't matter, to be honest. We're going to talk about structure right now. We'll do ADA. How about that? That's a pretty big coin that everyone knows and loves. And then on the bottom, we'll do Bitcoin. Okay? This is the same structure right now. This is a good setup. Okay? So this is the 20. All right, let's line these up. Take notes, class. Pop quiz. Class, turn your text to page 76. This is going on your final exam. This is going on your final report card. Do you understand? Chainlink has the same setup. Okay. On the bottom is Bitcoin from 2013 through 2017. In the middle is ADA from 2021 through present day. You could put Link there. You could put VeChain there. You could put XYO there. You could put 80% of the cryptocurrency market. And on the top is NCT. This is the same setup, the same structure. Mark down, mark down, mark down. Accumulation, accumulation, accumulation. Bottoming structure, right? Sign of strength. We'll put it in there so you can see what we're talking about here. SOS. Okay. Sign of strength right here. My God. Backtest of the prior range. Reaccumulation. Backtest. Backtest. Reaccumulation. Move higher for Bitcoin. Move higher, backtest again, backtest again, backtest again, cha-cha real smooth now, cha-cha again, cha-cha, cha-cha again. Okay, and then you start to gruel your way up. Start to gruel your way up, gruel your way up. Here is the end of the story. Most of the market looks like this right now. Come on now, 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 come on now! So this is a good setup. This is the setup that I'm looking for. This is a beautiful looking setup. Okay. Now, it already hit the 702. So the next logical was going to be the 1618, 25 cents. Scott, thank you for the heart. Jordan, thank you for the galaxies, bro. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Let the cream rise to the top. Can you do polka dot? We can do polka dot. Yes, understand. What about XRP? $5 to $8. Someone asked me about Penlink. I think Penlink has bottomed. People accuse me of being a Penlink hater. I was not a hater of Penlink. Not even a little bit. I just did not like the straight up vertical chart that it was at. But when we look at Penlink now, it's past all that. Okay, listen, I just look for value, guys. When people were asking about Penlink, it was in November. No joke, no lie, on my mama, on my hood, on everything, bro. This is what the chart looked like. And they're like, Ski, what do you think about Penlink? I'm like, take profit for the love of God. If you were my brother, I would tell you to take profit. Just straight line, 0 red candles. None, not one. And people are like, Ski's a Penlink hater. No, I'm not. Distribution, mark down. Accumulation. This is a bottoming structure. Bottoming structure. Minimum $2.90 for a retracement. Parabolic takes you to $10. I think that the bottom is in for Penlink. Do you believe May and June will be bullish? I think there's a good plausibility. There's a lot of narratives of sell and May go away. We're going to see what the market's doing. It's been very much oversold for a long time. I think Bitcoin's a little bit ahead of the altcoins, and the altcoins I think are going to catch up to Bitcoin. I do think finally what we've been waiting for, Bitcoin dominance is finally starting to distribute. And at the same time, Ethereum dominance has finally found some footing, which it's been on a skid since 2021. Like, it's been on a skid forever. And it found a 5-year support. And I said, this means one of two things. Either A, Ethereum is really dead, or B, Ethereum is going to bounce. My money is on B. ADA target, $6 to $8. $8. Will Turbo hit 10 cents? My wife's boyfriend gave me crabs. Damn, you hate to see it, bro. If we don't get a test, do you think the top will be 138? Yes, very plausible, John. See, now you're thinking, John. That's correct. Like, if you get a straight line movement, that means you got to pull. If you don't have the structure to fall, you have less to launch. So, yes, I think that that's very plausible. All is well. Welcome back, Brody. It's good to be back. Salome, go away. Good or bad strategy? I think it's a bad strategy, to be honest. There's too many people in that mindset. I never make my decisions based off of time. Never. I make my decisions based off of structure, based off of value, based off of how hot or cold something is, based off of how oversold or overbought it is. There's way better strategies than based off of a certain month or time, right? And it's clear at this point that we are on a different timeline, right? You want to argue with me that 4 years is done? Like, so be it. That means we're deep in accumulation. Why was alt season canceled? Alt season was not canceled. We had an overblown Bitcoin dominance run. Alt season has not happened yet. It's not canceled. Delayed is the proper word. Thank you for the squirrel, bro. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Make sure you guys drop a follow. Subscribe on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube right now. ADA and Chainlink target, $68 for ADA. Still, Chainlink is $78. I have a long in ADA right now. Or not, well, ADA and Chainlink. Both of those, I like their charts. They have the same target. Jesus! Your boy is rusty. I can't speak English today. They have the same Hold on. Stay with me. We're going to cha-cha again one more time. They have the same chart, what we just discussed with NCT. My God. I went to the farm and I forgot how to speak English. ICP, I like ICP too. ICP has that same chart too. All right. Let's check out Turbo. It's Turbo time. He asked me, can it go to 10 cents? Okay, Turbo, clearly bottom. Also, I had this. Okay, so these red lines right here, this means I've charted this in the past, and I talked about a gap. Gaps get filled. This gap got filled, and it broke right through it. Okay, I would anticipate a back test again, back to 0036. Can it get to 10 cents? Let me see. Okay, so retracement is 1 cent. Parabolic is 3.5 cents. Is it possible to get to 10 cents? It is possible. I don't think it's probable that Turbo gets to 10 cents. I think it's more probable it gets to 3.5 cents. XRP, $5 to $8 is where I will be exiting. I exited 40% at $3.33. Everyone told me I was crazy. We went to $3.40. So I missed the top by a couple of cents. Sorry. If we come back to $1, I think it is plausible that we come back to $1. I will be adding to my position on XRP spot. If we don't, I will exit at $5, $8, and $12. Solnic chart. Solnic is looking very good. Higher low structure. Clear breakout. Okay, so we were on a down. This is distribution. Marked down. Accumulation. We had a downtrend. We have a clear breakout. Higher low, higher low, higher low. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lots of support over here. And over here. This is Solnic is my number one 100x value, period. Sold to 1K. I don't think so. 420 to 500 is my target for Solana. Ardrum. All right, someone asked me about Sui. I do think that Sui is a market leader at this point, especially when you look at the market cap. Market cap is the true price. Let me say it again. Every coin, take notes, class. Turn your text to page 1 because this is 101. This is going on your final report card. Turn your text to page 1 because this is 101. Market cap, regardless of what the XRP army will tell you, is the true price. Verily, verily, I say unto you, Market cap is the true price. If you get the option to measure a coin, measure it by market cap. That is the truth. That is the way, the truth, and the light. No one goes parabolic except for through the market cap. All right? Now, Sui's market cap is at the retracement already. Accumulation. I talked about it. I said Sui, I think's bottom. I said that. Video evidence documented. Come on now. Now, it's not nearly this high on the price, though. I'm going to show you. We're going to compare it. It's at the 382. Market cap's at the 0.5, so it's not as bad. There's just a lot of inflation in the future. But it's already a little bit of a gap. Okay, so I anticipate it to go to the 1618, which is about a 1x from here, as high as the 2618, which is a 1.6x from here. So what is that price? Excuse me, $7. As high as $9. ETH to 10K. That is probable. That's plausible probables in between there. My target is 3,300 minimum. Medium is 7,000. Bull is somewhere between 10 to 15,000. But if a coin has no inflation, there isn't a price chart. Fine. Yes, correct. If there's no inflation, it's fine. You don't need to look at market cap because market cap and price are the same. Sui has an unlock coming May 2nd. Okay, very important. You need to be paying attention to Sui's market cap. Listen, hear me, hear me. If Sui gets to $21 billion, I don't care what the price is. That's price discovery. If Sui gets to $30 billion, I don't care what Sui's price is. That is parabolic. Do you hear me? I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again one more time. One more time. One more time. If Sui goes to $30 billion market cap, I do not care what the price is. That is parabolic. That's going on your final report card. Do you think Sonic will hit 75 cents by June, July? Very plausible. Yes. Sonic is my number one 100x play. We are deep in the dev on the staking. He is working on the main net at this point. The developer. I actually just sent him the Solana for that today. We have more podcasts with Mario, and we have lots of tweets for him. We're also doing the stablecoin. We're doing the staking. We're doing the lending, the borrowing, the BYOB, and we are filming a feature documentary. Is the Gmail thing done? I am not sure. I will check on that, Icy Wiener. Solana target 422, $500. Did I hear 75 cents? That's right. 75 cents by the end of the bull market, or I will shave my beard. Short Sui sounds like Terra. No, it's not like that. I don't think so. I think it's bottomed. I just think you need to pay attention to market cap. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not at like a... Yeah. Let's keep the hate to a minimal. Jasmine, 10 to 12 cents. Well, not to a minimal. Let's keep it reasonable, right? If we're going to hate on a project, let's do it with math. Let's do it with reason. Let's do it with logic. Right? I thought it was 7.5 cents. That's right. 7.5 cents is the beard bet. My bad. Thank you. But I do think we go to 75 cents. Is XYO still a good buy? I have not looked at XYO, but I believe it was. I know that XYO has the same setup. Yes, XYO looks beautiful. Very good, actually. Same setup that we just talked about with Link, with Bitcoin in 2013, with all of these things. We'll do it one more time, one more again. Okay. Turn your text to page 67, class. On the top, we have XYO. On the bottom, we're going to do Bitcoin. Same setup, guys. We know that the inflation on XYO is very good. Same exact thing, okay? Markdown, accumulation, sign of strength, back test. Let's line this up a little bit better. Reaccumulation. This is on a parallel downtrend. Breakout. Once you break out of the parallel downtrend, back test again, downtrend, back test again, downtrend, and then you break out of this parallel downtrend, and now you start to rule your way out of here. Here is the end of the story. Also, XYO is below the 236. So yes, I think XYO is an excellent value right now. ICB to 100. Yes, $35 is my bear case. 100 is medium. 140 is bull. Some have been saying Bitcoin is following the final stage of Elliott wave theory. Lower, high, next level thoughts. I think Bitcoin makes an all-time high. I think at minimum gets to 138,000. The next logical target is 118. But if you want to tell me that, you know, Bitcoin's just working on the breath, that's fine. If it wants to hang out here and Bitcoin dominance starts to distribute, that's all we need. But I don't believe that to be true. We have a lot of people coming in here. Normally it's kind of low, actually. On my screen it's 110. We start getting above like 300-400. That's when we need to worry a little bit. I think we pull back. I'm not sure where we're going to go to by May. I think that the bottom is in. We're working on the sign of strength for Bitcoin. Let me pull this up here. We talked about this at the beginning of the live stream. This is the same exact setup that we had back in 2021. Distribution, markdown, accumulation, selling climax, secondary test, spring. The spring is the absolute low that you go to. This is the sign of strength. It's very clean when we look on the 5-hour. We have even gotten the LPS and the SOS. And for those of you like, what the hell kind of Chinese is he talking about? This is what I'm talking about. Wyckoff accumulation. Shout out to Richard D. Wyckoff, the GOAT, who created this method over 100 years ago, and it still works to this day. I did not make this. Okay, markdown, selling climax, secondary test. Textbook goes lower than the selling climax. Okay, that's what we got. Secondary test in phase B. Textbook goes lower than the selling climax. Okay, the spring. Textbook goes lower than the secondary test, which goes lower than the selling climax. That's what we got. Then you got your test, your LPS, your sign of strength. Okay, we're somewhere in here. The sign of strength, even a little bit of chop. Phase E is the next macro phase. I'm not predicting it tomorrow or next week, but that's the next macro phase. Phase E is this. This is the markup. That's what we call it. When do you think Bitcoin dominance will drop? I think Bitcoin dominance is on the opposite of the spring right now. So the spring is the absolute low that you go to. It's the most amount of fear. It's the worst of the worst. And that's what the tariffs were. Let me switch this song. Okay, that's what the tariffs were. That's the absolute bottom, a spring. By the way, FTX going to zero was also the spring, right? So the reverse of a spring is a UTAD, which is distribution, a topping structure, okay? So you have your buying climax, your up thrust goes higher than the buying climax textbook. UTAD textbook goes higher than the up thrust. That is a textbook topping structure. Let's talk about what we got here with Bitcoin dominance. Okay. What do we have? Buying climax. Up thrust textbook goes higher than the buying climax. UTAD textbook goes higher than the up thrust. Also, on the daily, we are starting to get a bearish divergence. What does this mean? This means that two things are different. So the price is rising and the RSI, the relative strength, is on a downtrend. This is what happens at tops. This is what happens at bottoms. Now, I'm not saying tomorrow or next week, but the macro structure is forming itself right now. Okay, understand the difference. I'm not saying tomorrow, alt season, go pick out your Lamborghini tomorrow. No, we're not saying that. This is the macro structure that is formulating itself, in my opinion. Okay, the confirmation of what we need to see for a continuation of this, we need to take out 63.62% to make a lower low. Okay. That's the first step. That's the first stage. And even then, it's not going to be like, even if we get it, like, hear me out. It's not going to be like, boom, everyone wants that. That's not going to happen. Okay, what it's really going to look like is this. Like, it's going to take a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's not just going to be like tomorrow. All right. But yes, I do believe that Bitcoin dominance is the reverse of a spring, which is the worst of it. The spring is the lowest that you go, the maximum fear. The UTAD is the opposite of that. That is the opposite of a spring. In accumulation, you get a spring. In distribution, you get a UTAD. Those are the opposites. Dump before FOMC, very plausible. We're a little bit overheated at this point. We had a big move. I mean, you have to keep things in perspective, right? In the micro, we're talking very micro now. We're not talking macro. I've been talking macro pretty much this whole stream. Let's talk micro. Micro, we're a little bit overheated. We just went from 74K to 95K. To put that in perspective for you guys, that's about 4 years of stock market gains, right? It doesn't feel like we did a lot. That's 4 years of stock market gains. Bitcoin's like, let me just do what it will take you 4 years to do in the stock market. It did that in 20 days. I know it doesn't feel like that, but that's the reality of what just transpired, what just happened. Okay? So to pretend like we're just going to keep going forever, at some point we're due for a back test. Could it happen before the FOMC? Sure. Are we going to make a new low? No. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the hat and mustache. Yeehaw!
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Bri, I appreciate you. Jesse, thank you for the rose, bro.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Okay. Ski, where have you been, dude? I went to the farm. I went camping so I could wake up the market. Me and Satoshi had a little chat. I said, what are we doing, bro? No, I planted my orchard on my farm, and then I paved the driveway. Comparing Bitcoin to the whole stock market is wild. You know what's wild is all the bottoms I've called on the day. It's wild, all the bottoms that I've called on the day. Video evidence. April 7th, 2025. Video evidence said the bottom is in, boys. $75,000. We have not been a second lower. That's what's wild. Hey, Ski, you still mad at me? No, MJ, I'm not mad at anybody. Things happen. I'm not mad at anybody. I love everybody. All right. All right, so we're gonna switch to members only on TikTok. Excuse me. I will be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time. Says, I know you have the crystal ball. Wake the market up. Ski, when is in your opinion, you feel alt season kicks off? I think, listen, we have a perfect storm right now that is brewing. And I'm going to be transparent, honest. I don't know the exact date, the exact time. But what I do know is Bitcoin is working on accumulation, aka a bottoming structure. At the same time that this is happening, Bitcoin Dominance, which is what we need to fall, is working on a topping structure. The final stages of the topping structure. At the same time that this is happening, Ethereum Dominance has found a 5-year low support. At the same time that this is happening, Ethereum finally has broken the downtrend. At the same time that this is happening, the DXY has broken out of 5 years of support. At the same damn time, China's M2 is making an all-time high. At the same time, the M2 is making an all-time high. At the same time, gold is parabolic. So I don't know when the exact hour or time it's going to be, but what I know is the perfect storm is brewing. Amari, thanks for becoming a member.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
So that's what I know. Virtuals protocol. All right, let's check it out. Chris Long, thanks for becoming a member, you savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Very good. We've talked about this. It was on a downtrend. We were waiting for it to break a downtrend. This is accumulated, and it has broken the downtrend. This is working on the sign of strength, in my opinion. Very good. It's at the 236. I would anticipate a back test of the prior range, but I think that this is good. Looks very, very good. Retracement 340. Parabolic 1280. Beautiful. At the same damn time. Looking very, very good. Very, very good. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube. I'm live there right now. What's your thoughts on Giga? Let's see. What are my thoughts? Accumulation. Okay, this is distribution. You're marked down. Very violent markdown. Okay, and I would say that this has broken the downtrend, and it's starting to make. This is terrible. Hold on, not the chart, my charting. So this broke the downtrend. Very good, and also it's making higher low structure, and it's making higher high structure. Very, very good. Bro, I need to join the telly. 2 NFTs get you lifetime access to my private Telegram. This looks good. Retracement, 58 cents. I put out my trades in there. I've had a boss couple of weeks. 21 is the parabolic. I don't mind this at all. I think that this is working on accumulation. That doesn't mean sunshine and rainbows tomorrow, but I think it's turned the tide, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Can you look at DIA? I can and I will. Same thing. Markdown. Not quite a break of the downtrend just yet, but it's getting pretty close. I do think that this is your selling climax. Yeah, this was very oversold. Twitter King, thanks for becoming a member. Yes, Savage.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Retracement is 440. Parabolic is 570. Yeah, guys, I've been crushing it on the Telegram the last few weeks. Crushing the trades. I put in a long at 78K for Bitcoin publicly. Come on now. Crushing. I don't get everything right. I get some things wrong. I don't bat 1,000, but I got a damn good track record. Come on now. TA on Hehe. I think Hehe's been performing well. I think Hehe's deep into accumulation. Same thing as Solnick. I'm very encouraged with the Solnick chart. Higher low structure. Let's look at Hehe. I think this is the right one. Yeah, accumulation. It's an accumulation in my opinion. But it's deep in it. Deep. ZBCN. Doesn't that one have inflation coffee? I'm pretty sure. Look at the, like, I went away for a week and we're still just like, come on now. Bro, tell me a better looking chart, please. Anybody. And I didn't even do nothing. I get it. I go away. Y'all freak out. But damn. We're still outperforming the entire market. What does deep in accumulation mean? It means a bottoming structure. Accumulation is another word for a bottom. And deep in there means that most of the signs are there. All right, let's check out ZBCN. I also think it's deep in accumulation, but there is inflation though. So 1618 is more probable. 5005. All right, guys, it's a quick one. I screwed up the schedule today. I forgot my son had baseball. That's on me. But tomorrow I'll be live longer. It will be 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time. Here is the schedule for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time. Wednesday, I'll be live 6 to 8 p.m. I might have to bump that to 3 to 5. I'll put that out. Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m. Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. with Alex. And then I'll be live 6 to 8 p.m. And then Saturday, I'll be live 4 to 6 p.m. Lots of content coming out. We're going to be cranking out at least 5 shorts a day. We're going to do at least one 10 to 20 minute video per day, giving you the market analysis. I'll try to get those out in the morning. So make sure you guys follow and subscribe. As well as we're going to be doing at least one member video and one live stream at least per day, 6 days per week. But that's going to be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message you first. Those are scammers, for the love of God. Do not get scammed. Peace, love, prosperity, God first. God bless.
Damn hustling, hustling.